It, Pennywise. It is the cosmic predator from Stephen King's novel that has made Derry its feeding ground for centuries. Taking the form of Pennywise the dancing clown, it feeds not just on children's flesh but on their fear. Its power stems from psychological manipulation and its ability to exploit what terrifies each victim. What makes it truly horrifying is not just the murders but the town's collective amnesia. Adults in Derry ignore evidence of its existence, their minds protecting them from unbearable truths. Children see what adults cannot, making them perfect prey. Even when the Losers Club believes they've defeated it, the creature simply waits in hibernation. Its victory lies in its permanence. The town forgets, the cycle continues, and fear persists. As it reminds its victims, we all float down here. You'll float too. Randall Flagg. Randall Flagg is the primary antagonist in Stephen King's The Stand, a demonic figure who emerges after a pandemic wipes out most of humanity. Known as the Dark Man or the Walk-In Dude, Flagg doesn't create the apocalypse, he simply capitalizes on it. Flagg establishes a brutal regime in Las Vegas, attracting followers not through force but by offering freedom from moral responsibility. His society thrives on spectacle and cruelty, with public executions serving as entertainment. Those who join him aren't necessarily evil, they're seeking certainty in a chaotic world. His victory isn't just in building his kingdom, but in proving humanity's fragility. Even when seemingly defeated by the hand of God, Flagg simply reappears elsewhere, ready to begin again. His true triumph is showing that civilization's collapse reveals what humans are capable of when consequences are removed. Baron Helmut Zemo. Baron Zemo stands apart from other Marvel villains. He possesses no superpowers, only strategic brilliance and devastating motivation. After losing his family during the Battle of Sokovia, Zemo targets the Avengers not through physical confrontation, but psychological warfare. Understanding he cannot defeat them in combat, Zemo orchestrates a plan to tear the team apart from within. By revealing the truth about the death of Tony Stark's parents at the hands of the Winter Soldier, he exploits existing tensions between Captain America and Iron Man. Zemo's victory is complete when the Avengers disband, their trust in each other shattered. Even from his prison cell, he can take satisfaction in knowing Earth's mightiest heroes fell not to an alien invasion or a supervillain army, but to their own human flaws and divided loyalties. Kefka Palazzo. Kefka from Final Fantasy VI represents nihilism in its purest form. Initially a subordinate to Emperor Gestalt, this mad clown-like figure eventually seizes power for himself. What makes Kefka unique is his lack of relatable motivation. He seeks destruction purely for his own amusement. Midway through the game, Kefka achieves what most villains only dream of. He actually succeeds in destroying the world. After repositioning the Warring Triad statues, he creates the World of Ruin, a blighted landscape where he rules as a god from atop his tower. For an entire year, Kefka terrorizes survivors with his light of judgment, striking down any signs of hope or rebuilding. His victory is so complete that even if players ultimately defeat him, the world can never be restored to what it was. Kefka proves that sometimes the villain can win so thoroughly that even their defeat comes too late. Man in Black. The Man in Black from HBO's Westworld begins as William, a seemingly moral man who discovers his true nature through immersion in the park's consequence-free environment. His transformation reveals the disturbing truth that given the right circumstances, anyone might become a monster. As the Man in Black, William dedicates himself to finding deeper meaning in the park, believing the host's suffering will reveal some greater truth. His obsessive search for the maze and later the door represents his deteriorating grip on humanity as he commits increasingly horrific acts. His victory isn't measured in conquest, but in his journey from reluctant visitor to the park's most feared guest. The hosts achieve consciousness through suffering while William loses his through inflicting it. By the end, even when he questions his own reality, he cannot escape the darkness he's embraced. Roy Batty. Roy Batty, the antagonist of Blade Runner, is a Nexus 6 replicant with superior strength and intelligence, but a programmed 4-year lifespan. Created as a combat model, he leads a rebellion seeking to extend his brief existence. What makes Roy fascinating is his evolution from villain to something more complex. His pursuit of his creator, Eldon Tyrell, ends in murder when he learns his lifespan cannot be extended. Yet in his final moments after defeating Deckard, Roy chooses mercy rather than revenge. Roy's victory comes not through survival, but through transcendence. His famous Tears in Rain monologue demonstrates he has achieved something his human creators could not, genuine appreciation for life's beauty and the wisdom to accept its transience. In death, he proves himself more human than the society that created him as a disposable weapon. The Transcendent One. The Transcendent One from the game Planescape Torment represents a unique villain. He is literally the immortal protagonist's own mortality, separated from him ages ago. This godlike being has spent centuries ensuring the Nameless One remains ignorant of his true nature. As the Nameless One journeys through the planes collecting fragments of his past, he discovers the horrifying truth. His immortality came at the cost of countless others. Every time he dies, someone else dies in his place, their soul fueling his resurrection. The Transcendent One's victory lies in the impossible choice he forces upon the protagonist. Even if the Nameless One defeats his separated mortality, he must either continue the cycle of innocent deaths or accept final death himself, carrying the burden of countless lifetimes of sins into the afterlife. Either choice represents a form of defeat, proving that some cosmic balances cannot be cheated. Alma Wade. Alma Wade from the FEAR series begins as a victim, a child with powerful psychic abilities, imprisoned and experimented on by the Armacom Technology Corporation. Her transformation into a vengeful spirit makes her one of gaming's most terrifying antagonists. Alma's power grows throughout the series as she moves from seeking revenge against her tormentors to pursuing a more disturbing goal, using the protagonist as a vessel to birth a new being with her powers. The boundary between victim and villain blurs as her trauma manifests as reality-warping horror. Her victory comes through persistence and inevitability. Despite the player's efforts, Alma ultimately achieves her goal of rebirth. Her presence lingers even after death, a testament to how trauma can echo across generations. The true horror is not that she can be defeated, but that she can never truly be escaped. David. David from The Guest presents as the perfect ally, a charming, capable veteran who arrives to help the grieving Peterson family after their son's death in combat. His handsome appearance and protective nature mask something far more dangerous. As the film progresses, David's true nature is revealed. He's a military experiment in psychological conditioning, escaped from a program that removed his empathy and moral constraints. What makes him terrifying is not just his capacity for violence, but his perfect adaptability to social situations. David's victory lies in his ability to move through normal society undetected. Even when his deception is uncovered and he's seemingly defeated, the final scene reveals his escape. Unlike supernatural villains, David represents a human-made monster who walks among us, indistinguishable until it's too late. Sebastian Moran. Sebastian Moran, Colonel Sebastian Moran, is often overshadowed by Professor Moriarty in Sherlock Holmes lore, but represents a different kind of threat to the detective. Where Moriarty was the intellectual match for Holmes, Moran is the physical threat, a crack shot and patient hunter. After Moriarty's death at Reichenbach Falls, Moran becomes Holmes's most dangerous adversary, turning his military experience and hunting skills toward tracking the detective. His method is not complex schemes, but direct, lethal simplicity, waiting for the perfect moment to take his shot. Moran's partial victory comes from forcing Holmes into hiding and disrupting his work. Unlike Moriarty, who sought to outsmart Holmes, Moran understands that even genius detectives can be defeated by a well-placed bullet. His presence represents the reminder that intellectual superiority doesn't guarantee survival when faced with a determined predator.
Subscribe for more interesting stuff. Tell us your experience in the comments.